D-Man here. Should subscribe. Just telling you, I hope you like this video. So let's get in to the video.
Let's get to the video.
Enjoy.
Enjoy.
Hey guys, D-Man here. Doing a video that I haven't done much on, South Park. Um, the final season, not premiere, I almost said premiere, but the season finale has came out for season 21 of South Park. I'm only doing a season analysis sort of thing, and mostly I'm going to focus on the last episode, just because most of the people I've watched on this subject didn't say things that I agree with. Most people like this end of season, and I did not like this end of season at all. Um, I'm not going to start doing this, by the way. I'm not going to start doing South Park and reviewing episode by episode because there's 21 episodes. It's a lot of. I mean, there's not 21 episodes. There's 21 seasons. This was out when I was a kid. Let's say that it's that old. This was out when I was a kid. Like it's old as hell. And when I was a kid, I wasn't even allowed to watch it, but I did anyways because, you know, I watched this all the time when I was a kid. I wasn't supposed to. I was also not supposed to watch Beavis and Butthead, but that didn't stop me from watching that either. But yeah, so this is the old show. I'm not gonna do this all the time. I might do this like at the end of next season too, but who knows. But I just wanted to make this video because I didn't agree with a lot of people because I've watched some people's season like review and like the final review for the last episode, and I disagree with it. Now I don't remember the episode's name. I'll put it in the title, I guess. But basically, this whole season has been just like a normal season, and they haven't had Kenny in any of these seasons. I let me think back. I would like to say pretty much from like 19 to 21, Kenny has rarely been in it, and we've only seen him as like a background character. And especially in 21, like season 21, I haven't seen Kenny at all. And I really dislike that. I know that the creators said that Kenny's one of the characters that they don't like too much. But I love Kenny, man. Kenny's like my second favorite character in the whole show. The first being Eric Cartman, of course, because Eric Cartman's a little psychopath that's awesome and hilarious. But Kenny's my second favorite character, and I miss him. Like, why did you guys bring him back? You know, bring back Kenny. I'm just saying. Hashtag bring back Kenny. Just. But anyways, this whole season has pretty much been without him. Even this last episode, which is one of the things I didn't like about, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So this whole season, did I like this whole season? I liked the majority of it. Some of the episodes could have done without him, but I liked the majority of the season, and they were actually really nice season. The whole thing between Eric Cartman and his girlfriend, I love that. Uh, I really like to see where it ended up. The last episode, uh, episode 9, I forgot his name too. But that episode was awesome because it referenced the movie, the South Park movie. If you ever watched that movie, came out a long time ago, but if you ever watched it, that movie was hilarious and awesome. And at the end, Eric saves the day by using his filthy fucking mouth. It was just an awesome movie, and these are all the pictures I could find of it, by the way. So don't worry about it. But it was an awesome movie, and that episode referenced it. And it was just like, what if it happened, but with Donald Trump as president, and Donald Trump nukes Canada, which is really stupid because if you were to nuke Canada, like if America were to nuke Canada, it'd be the stupidest thing because the fallout could impact America because we both live on North America. Uh, like Canada lives on North America and America lives on North America. Like we both live on the continent of North America, but we're two separate countries. You guys are the U.S. and we're Canada, obviously. So if you were to if you were to nuke Canada, you'd be nuking North America, what you guys live on. So the fallout could definitely affect America. It's kind of stupid, to nuke a place right next to you. That'd be pretty much like blowing up your friend's house and hoping the fire doesn't engulf your house too. I'm just saying, it's really stupid that he would do that, but I guess he's a stupid president. I guess that's the whole point. It's pretty funny though. Um, that's one of the things I liked about this season. That episode was hilarious, and I was. This is one of the things I didn't like about this new episode because I really wanted to continue with that episode, but it only referenced it slightly, and I loved Ike. He was hilarious in this episode, and he was like a melty riding a giant dog. That was awesome and hilarious. And Heidi's in this episode, and the boys decide to go look for Trump or look for Ike actually because Trump, or sorry, Mr. Garrison is there, and he's just hiding out in South Park, and everybody wants him gone because they're like Canada's gonna nuke South Park if we don't get rid of Trump. Um, and if I'm not mistaken, in real life, I'm pretty sure Canada doesn't have any nukes in real life. If I'm not mistaken, and plus, I don't think Canada's stupid enough to nuke its next door neighbor because the fallout could reach us and vice versa. Like, it's pretty stupid to nuke somebody that's right next to you. But whatever. Anyways, Ike is going out to look for Mr. Garrison because he's just like, fuck you, Mr. Garrison, because Canadians stick together. We're one of the most, we're one of the most, like, what they say again? We stick together in their times of need or something like that. Because we're one of the most patriotic countries, I guess. I don't really agree with that. I do kind of, I guess, because I do love my country, to be honest, and I would stick with through it, like with it through most of the things. Most things, I say, because not everything's worth fighting for, because some things are really stupid. But yeah, if someone nuked Canada, I'd totally stand with Canada. I'd be like, fuck those guys. And Ike is a total badass by catching Mr. Garrison. That was the most hilarious part of this episode was Ike and the whole capturing Mr. Garrison thing. And then at the end, Mr. Garrison runs away, and they're referencing Stranger Things and how it's like It. Now I haven't seen the new It movie, and I haven't seen Stranger Things either, so don't don't ask me if I know anything about them. I think Stranger Thing is about like the upside down and a creature comes from it, and there's a girl that's bald that has mental powers, and she blows up the creature. And then season two, I don't know what season two is about. I guess the girl with powers does something too, and maybe the creature comes back. That's pretty much all I know about it. It's like an alternate reality. And I have watched the old show. I forgot what it's called. I guess it's called It, but I have watched like the old version of it. I haven't watched the new one because it looked kind of stupid, and I still think it looks stupid. Although a lot of people say it's good. I might watch it someday, but I probably just think it's stupid because most scary things don't really scare me. um, so they reference It, and they say that Stranger Things kind of like It, which I don't know because I haven't watched Stranger Things. But I have heard some stuff about it, and it does sound a little bit like It. So I guess Stranger Things does reference it a little bit, except for the whole, children orgy thing. That's not on there. It's pretty good that's not on there too. But anyways, let's get into this episode. Enough of me rambling. Let's get into this episode. It's episode 10, the season finale. So the things I did not. Let's start off with the things I didn't like, and then go to the things I did like, because there's pretty much only one thing I liked. So the things I didn't like was first off Kenny. Where the hell was Kenny this whole season? And I'm pretty sure the majority of last season and the majority of the season before that, Kenny has just been a non-show. And when the kids get together, they bring Tweek and Craig instead of Kenny. Like, what the hell? I like Tweek and Craig, but still, Kenny. Where's Kenny? And if I'm not mistaken, Craig said once that he doesn't want anything to do with Eric, Stan, Kyle, and Kenny because they took him on an adventure and they got him stuck in um, Peru, I think it was, because giant guinea pigs were taking over the world and Craig's the only one that could stop them. So he said he doesn't want anything to do with them, and he said that's why no one wants anything to do with you guys, because every time you guys, every time people do stuff with you, you guys end up in another country or space or getting arrested or something stupid like that. And I loved that episode. That was hilarious. I think it was a two-parter actually, but it was hilarious because he's just like, that's why no one likes to hang out with you for, because you guys always get into these really shitty situations and then you drag everybody else in with you. It was hilarious. But yeah, I really miss Kenny because Kenny hasn't been showing up. Although I did kind of like this whole dynamic, and the whole listening to 80s music, because some 80s music is good, but some is really shitty. And some of the songs I listen to, I kind of like some of those songs, but whatever. But they're like, let's listen to some 80s music, and they're like, why is this all shitty? That's a pretty funny little thing there. But yeah, the whole Kenny thing I disliked about this whole season. And I'm starting to get a little bit worried. I'm hoping to bring him back in next season and he'll be a bigger part. And then they have the second thing that I disliked, which is the whole. They only reference the last episode slightly, and they only reference it between Ike and Kyle, pretty much. And I guess they only reference it slightly a little bit, like throughout the show, but it's so stupid. Like, why do they only reference that slightly? Um, I wanted them to reference it more, but they didn't. They only referenced it slightly. The third thing I disliked was Cartman and Heidi breaking up. I really wanted to see what would happen if Heidi stayed like Cartman. Like, I really, really wanted to see what would happen. But instead, they're like, you know what? It's finally time for her to realize her mistakes and break up with Cartman. And at the end there, I thought she was going to kill herself. I think a few people probably did. At least one guy I was watching thought she was going to kill herself. I also thought that. And we all knew Eric wasn't going to kill himself. Come on, Eric's too much of a narcissist to kill himself. But he wanted Heidi to get back together with him. But yeah, like the whole she broke up with him and turns back to normal. I assume in the next season she'll be back to normal. If we even get to see her again, she might go out with Kyle. I don't know. There's a 50% chance that we'll get to see her again. But the whole like she breaks up with him, I didn't like that aspect. I really wanted to see them play out this role of this girl that was just like Eric. But no, instead they're like, no, she's gonna break up with him now. Like, I wanted to see if she tried to do some fucked up things to Eric. Maybe something happens, and then maybe she tries to do some fucked up things to Eric. Maybe, like, make him eat his parents. Or make him eat his mom, I guess. Or maybe, I don't know, try to kill him. Because Eric's a psychopath, and he turned her into a sociopath almost. So yeah, I wanted to see that, but instead they're like, no, Heidi's gonna go now. I, I, I really wanted to see the dynamic in the next season between them, but instead we don't get that. But okay, whatever. I guess I'll deal with it. And those are the things that I really didn't like about this episode. And plus, this episode was kind of long. Like, I felt like this episode was drawn out and kind of boring. And it was just kind of like long and tedious and boring. It was just like, speed up a little bit faster. Do some more funny things, but it was just kind of long and tedious and boring to me, and like personally, I would say that it was just long, tedious, and boring to me in general. Just this whole episode was. Um. Anyways, let's go on to the things I did like. Uh, one of the things I liked was the whole thing where it's just like we're the white family. And it's because it's just like it's referencing all whites and stuff. It's not all whites, I guess, but like just the way people think of like whites and stuff. It's just like this whole funny pun and stuff. Oh man, like when I was a kid, I used to watch this show, and there's so much references that went over my head. But now that I'm an adult, I get this reference. And if you're if like a kid's watching this, you shouldn't be watching this in the first place. Um, but if you actually watch this episode, you probably won't get that reference. Like, there's an episode where everybody's getting medicinal medicine. It's like an older episode from one of the older episodes. I think it's like season, I don't know, season 2 or 3, maybe even 4, maybe 5. I don't know. It's really old though. Where they were all getting um like medicinal medicine and stuff because everybody was just like, I don't trust the doctors anymore and blah blah blah. And they're like, why don't we all go to Misinformation, who sells medicinal medicine? Like she sells like creams and herbs and stuff that's medicinal and it's all cool and it's healthy and stuff. And it's hilarious because when I was a kid, I watched that episode and I thought it was funny. But when I was an adult, I watched that episode over and I thought it was hilarious because it's just like misinformation. I never got that pun. That slid right over my head when I was a kid. That's hilarious. And they're still doing things like that with we're the white family. That's hilarious, and I love that. And I love that they still have that kind of sense of humor. That's freaking hilarious. The second thing I liked about this episode was obviously Ike, the most badassest Canadian in the whole series. I gotta say, Ike's my number one. I guess my third character, my third favorite character. Cause I gotta say, Cartman and Kenny, my favorites, and Ike, my third favorite, and then Stan, Kyle. Stan, Kyle, huh? Butters maybe or Tweak. I think Butters or Tweak might fit in there. And then I think it's Greg, definitely, or Craig, whatever you call his name. And then probably Jimmy and Timmy. Hmm. Anyways, let's get off that topic. But yeah, like I love this Ike thing. That was hilarious. Um, is there anything else I liked about this episode? I like the fact that Randy crashed his bike. That was pretty funny. And the whole like principal and vice principal thing, that I found that actually really funny because of today's climate stuff. It's just like you can't date a coworker, especially if they're your lower like especially if they're underneath you, because then you're pretty much a rapist. And I don't agree with that. Obviously, not a lot of people would agree with that. Like, why you can't date a coworker, bleh, sort of thing, you know. But obviously you can, unless you sign like an agreement at your work that says you can't date a coworker. Some people, some works do that. But obviously you can date a coworker, and if you guys are like legitimately attracted to each other and like each other, I think it's perfectly fine. What you can't do is force a coworker into a relationship or a sexual act with you if you're superior to her or him, whichever one, because it can go both ways. So you can't do that, but you can date one if you guys legitimately like each other. So that's pretty funny, and I want to see what happens in the next season about that, you know, because everybody knows now that they're like a thing, and I bet you everybody's gonna blame PC Principal for it. It's gonna be freaking hilarious, and maybe at the end they might quit or something might happen like that, or maybe one of them's gonna quit so they can be together, or maybe they're gonna break up because strong woman, you know, she's a strong woman. I don't know, just. I don't know. I like that part about this whole episode too. All in all, I'd give this episode like a 5. It was like a meh episode, like 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, 5 being average, 5. This episode was a little bit tedious, a little bit long, like it was as long as it normally is, but it felt longer, and it felt tedious, and it felt stupid. And a lot of people are like, I really love this episode, but I really disliked this episode. I disliked the whole Eric and Cartman thing breaking up. I really wanted to see that in the next episode. I dislike that. I dislike that Kenny was not even in this season barely, especially in this last episode where they had a perfect opportunity to bring him with the boys. Like, oh my God, an adventure! You can't have an adventure without Kenny. God damn it, guys. I really like that, and I loved Ike. I loved Ike, man. I mean, I really disliked that, I should say, but I loved Ike. That's probably the best part about this episode was Ike. But anyways, that's my little review of South Park season 21 and episode 10 at the same time. Don't expect me to do this all the time, by the way. I might do season 22. I might do like the first episode and then the very last episode and do like a season review and stuff like that. But I might do that. Who knows? But I'm really hoping they bring back Kenny. I really miss Kenny. Maybe even Mysterion. Who knows? And I don't know. Let's see what happens. And I'm kind of sad that we don't get to see Heidi become more crazy. Anyways, that's my whole thing, my whole review and stuff. Hope you liked it. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and share. And as always, my friends, stay sane. A peace. Let's do this. Hey guys, D-Man here. Just remind you to subscribe by clicking here. It works on mobile. Yep. Or click here to watch my last video. It also works on mobile. Watch them and like them. Just remember, subscribe and stuff. Love it. See you guys. Peace. Alright, bye-bye.